These yarn coasters are woven on drinking straws. It's an easy technique and a lot of fun. It has impressive results, so let me show you how. For this project, you will need 9 plastic drinking straws, a skewer, tape, yarn, and scissors. Start by preparing the loom with the straws. If your straws have a little flexible part, you can cut that part off just underneath. Make sure the straws are at least about 6 inches long though. Place a piece of tape on your table, and then you're going to set the straws close next to each other, leaving a tiny gap in between each straw. So you don't want them to be right next to each other. There needs to be room for the yarn to fit through. Once you've got everything in place, then put tape over the top to secure them where they need to be. This is your weaving loom. Start by leaving a long tail on one side and weave your yarn in and out between the straws. The first 2 rows will be the most difficult. It gets easier after that. So slide the yarn down toward the taped part. Now you want to make sure that you're not weaving too tight or too loose, so it needs to be just right. So start at the other end, loop it around that last straw, and make sure that that loop is snug, not too tight, not loose. Weave the yarn in and out between the straws again and run the yarn down snug against the previous row. As I said, this will get easier as you go along. So you're just going to repeat this process until the whole thing is about as long as it is wide if we're going to make a square. When you're finished and the coaster is as long as you would like it to be, cut off the end of the yarn, leaving a long tail. Cut 2 pieces of yarn for each straw, so you've got 18 pieces of yarn, and you want to make sure they're about 6 inches longer than the straw themselves. Thread 2 pieces of yarn through each straw. If it gets to be difficult, you can use your skewer to help you get the yarn through. Leave a tail at each end of the straw. Put 2 pieces of yarn in each straw. Now comes the hard part. You're going to be sliding all of the loops off of the straws and onto the yarn. So if you've done it too tight, this is going to be a little bit difficult, but just be patient. Work a few rows at a time, sliding them up and off the ends of the straws. Make sure that your strings stay in place and that you don't lose some of the ends into the weaving. All right, once it's off the straws, take the end that you started with and tie it to the first string in a double knot. Now you're going to knot across the whole side, and it's very important to tie the knots with 2 strings that were in different straws. So you're going across the rows here. You don't want to tie 2 strings together that were in the same straw, or it's not going to hold everything in place. Continue down, tying a double knot with each pair of tails. When you get to the end, you'll have 1 string left. Go ahead and tie that to the one that's next to it. Do the same thing to the other side of the coaster. Once you're finished, straighten out the strings the best you can, and you can trim the ends. The last step is optional, but what I like to do is to unravel each of the little tails, just so it looks a little fuzzier and a little fuller. And you're finished. Please subscribe to my channel for other craft ideas. There's new videos every week, so you don't want to miss one.